July 7, 2021, Windsor, Wisconsin. A 23-year-old man walked into the Dane County Sheriff Office to report his parents missing. According to him, they had left several days earlier with a friend to travel the family cabin in northern Wisconsin. They were supposed to repair storm damage, fix a water pump, then return home. But after leaving that morning, they stopped responding to the messages. The man who reported them missing was Chandler Halderson. Within days, investigators would discover something else. The disappearance had never been a missing person case.
More remains are found in the continuing investigation into Bart and Krista Halderson's disappearance.
The Dane County Medical Examiner confirms the human remains found last Thursday are those of 50-year-old Bart Halderson.
His wife Krista is still considered missing.
And the person who called the police was hiding the truth. This is the case of Chandler Halderson and the murder of Bart and Krista Halderson. Bart Halderson was 50 years old. He worked as director and contractor in accounting. He was structured and practical. He supported his children's activity and encouraged them to develop skills through the scouting and school programs. Krista Halderson was 53 years old. She worked in the customer services at an auto body shop. People who know her describe her as sportive and attentive. She frequently checked in the family members and spoke openly about wanting her children to become responsible adults. The Halderson family lived in the Windsor, Wisconsin, in a quiet neighborhood near Lake Monona. They owned a cabin in Lakeland County, a place they occasionally visited for trips and outdoor activities. Their older son, Michelle, had already started building a career working in technology. Their younger son, Chandler, still lived at home. At that time, his parents believed he was preparing for his own career. But the story Chandler told about his life was not real. To the friends and family, Chandler presented himself as someone moving toward a career in technology. He said he was enrolled at Madison Area Technical College. According to him, he was studying renewable energy and information technology. He also spoke about professional opportunity. At one point, he said he had an internship connected to American Family Insurance. Later, he told people he had been offered a position with SpaceX. Emails appeared to confirm this opportunity. To the people around him, everything seemed real. But investigators would later learn that none of those claims were true. Chandler was not enrolled in college. The internship did not exist. The SpaceX opportunity was not real. The emails used to support these claims were created by Chandler himself. For more than 2 years, he maintained the appearance of his life that did not actually exist. For a long time, the deception went unnoticed. His parents believed he was attending a school and working toward a career. They continued supporting him financially while he lived at home. Chandler was very relaxed and easygoing. In late June 2021, Bart Halderson connected Madison Area Technical College to verify Chandler's enrollment. The response was clear. Chandler was not enrolled. Bart scheduled a meeting with college to clarify the situation. The meeting was planned for July 1st. For the first time, Chandler's story was about to collapse. Around this same period, another details would later become important. In June 2021, a friend named Andrew Smith, visiting from Kansas, left Chandler with the rifle, an SKS Norinco, along with hundreds of rounds of ammunition. His parents were not aware the weapon was in the house. July 1st, 2021. That afternoon, Bart was seated when Chandler suddenly shot him from the behind with a rifle. The bullet entered from abdomen, struck his spinal cord, and exited through the ribcage. Medical evidence show he was alive when he was shot. Later that evening, Krista returned home from work. When she entered the house, she was also shot. Chandler killed both of his parents that day. But what happened afterward would become the one of the most disturbing part of this investigation. Over the next several days, investigators found that Chandler had dismembered the bodies using tools. Some remains were burned inside the home's fireplace. More than 200 bone fragments were eventually recovered from there. Other remains were moved away from the house and left in the wooded area across the Dane County.
Deputies say they identified human remains on a rural property as Bart Halderson. His wife Krista is still considered missing. The couple's 23-year-old son Chandler is in jail tonight, accused of giving false information to investigators. Police say witnesses placed Chandler in the area where his father's remains were found.
That same evening, surveillance camera captured Chandler driving one of his parents' vehicles to nearby a store. Inside, he purchased 2 bags of ice to hide what had happened inside the house. But he still needed a story to explain why his parents had suddenly disappeared. On July 7, 2021, Chandler filed a missing person report with the Dane County Sheriff Office. According to him, they had been picked up by unknown couples who planned to drive them to the family cabin. He said they were going there to repair storm damage. The cabin had poor cell service, which explained why no one could reach them. A few days later, he showed investigators a text message that appeared to come from Krista's phone. The message said they had arrived safely and planned to attend a parade before returning home later in the week. At first, the message seemed to support his story, but phone data told a different story. Both phones involved in the messages were connected to the same cell towers. They had not been sent from the cabin, they had been sent from the near Halderson home. Investigators also began reviewing digital records. Snapchat location data from the Chandler's girlfriend showed his location near the Wisconsin rivers on July 3rd. Inside the house, investigators discovered Bart and Krista's phone and driving license hidden in the garage inside a shoes wrapped in the foil. Another discovery came from Chandler's Google history. On July 8, 2021, he searched several phrases online. These searches were made before the investigator publicly discovered any remains. Later that day, investigators searched property near Cottage Grove. In the wooded area there, they discovered human remains. The torso was later identified as Brad Halderson. Shortly afterward, Chandler Halderson was arrested. Additional remains belonging to the Kristas were later discovered in another wooded area in Dane County.
More remains are found in the continuing investigation into Bart and Krista Halderson's disappearance. As reported, authorities have positively identified human remains found in rural Dane County as Bart Halderson, and right now they're working to identify more remains that were found yesterday, while also working to determine a cause of death. At the moment, Krista Halderson is still considered missing. Authorities have also upgraded the potential charges their son, Chandler, faces in his father's death. The criminal complaint now charges 23-year-old Chandler Halderson with first-degree intentional homicide, hiding a corpse, mutilating a corpse, and providing false information in a kidnapping.
The case went to the trial in January 2022 in Dane County Circuit Court. Prosecutors argued that Chandler had spent years of creating a false version of his life. When his father discovered the truth and scheduled a meeting with the college, that deception was about to collapse. The defense argued that the case was based mostly on circumstantial evidence, but the prosecutor maintained that the timeline pointed to only one explanation. After roughly 2 hours of deliberation, the jury returned his verdict. Chandler Halderson was found guilty on all 8 charges.
We, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as to Bart A. Halderson, as charged in count 1 of the amended information. As to the verdict form for count 2, as signed and dated, we, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of providing false information about a missing person as to Bart A. Halderson, as charged in count 2 of the amended information. Verdict form for count 3, as signed and dated, reads, "We, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of mutilating a corpse as to Bart A. Halderson as charged in count 3 of the amended information." Verdict form for count 4 as signed and dated reads, "We, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of hiding a corpse as to Bart A. Halderson as charged in count 4 of the amended information." The verdict form for count 5 as signed and dated reads, "We, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as to Krista R. Halderson as charged in count 5 of the amended information." The verdict form for count 6 as signed and dated by the foreperson reads, "We, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of providing false information about a missing person as to Krista R. Halderson as charged in count 6 of the amended information." The verdict form as to count 7 as signed and dated reads, "We, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of mutilating a corpse as to Krista R. Halderson as charged in count 7 of the amended information." And finally, the verdict form for count 8 as signed and dated reads, "We, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of hiding a corpse as to Krista R. Halderson as charged in count 8 of the amended information."
In March 2022, he was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. That was the case of Chandler Halderson and the murder of Bart and Krista Halderson. Subscribe for more true crimes breakdown and comment a case you want me to cover next. See you in the next time.